Motivation is not the spark, it's the smoke. You've been staring at the smoke your whole life, wondering where the fire went. But the fire was never there. You were looking at the aftermath of someone else's action and calling it inspiration. You sit there waiting. I just need to feel motivated. I'm not inspired yet. When the mood strikes, I'll crush it. But the mood never strikes. The motivation never arrives. The feeling you're waiting for does not exist in advance. It only exists in the rearview mirror. You are waiting for a train that only runs after you start walking. And you've been standing at the platform for months, maybe years, maybe your entire adult life. Look around. Look at the other people on the platform. They have notebooks full of plans. They have vision boards on their walls. They have playlists designed to manufacture the feeling. They have apps that track their goals but never their actions. None of them are moving because motivation is not fuel. It is exhaust. It is the byproduct of movement, not the cause of it. But nobody told you that. Every self-help book sold you the same lie. Find your why. Connect with your passion. Visualize the outcome until you feel it. And you did. You visualized. You journaled. You meditated on your purpose. You watched the documentary. You saved the quote. You bookmarked the article. And then you sat back down and waited for the feeling to carry you. It never did. Because feelings don't carry people. People carry feelings. You don't get motivated and then act. You act and then get motivated. The sequence is backwards in every motivational speech you've ever watched. Every single one. They show you the result, the body, the business, the breakthrough, and they say, I was so driven, but they never show you the morning they started. The morning they felt nothing. The morning the alarm screamed and their body said no and their mind said tomorrow and they moved anyway. That morning is the only one that mattered. And it had zero motivation in it. Just a decision. Ugly, quiet, unremarkable, but irreversible. And here is what makes it worse. You know this. Somewhere inside, you already know that motivation is a lie. You've felt it before. You started something reluctantly, and 20 minutes in, you couldn't stop. The energy appeared. The focus sharpened. The resistance dissolved. But you didn't learn the lesson. You went right back to waiting the very next day. Because the lie is comfortable. Waiting feels like preparation. Hesitation feels like wisdom. Delay feels like patience. But it's not patience. It's fear wearing a calendar. You have it backwards. Action does not follow motivation. Motivation follows action. The first step is always taken in the dark. The light appears after you move, not before, never before. This is not philosophy. This is not a metaphor designed to sound good on a podcast. This is neuroscience. Your brain does not release dopamine as a reward for planning. It releases dopamine as a reward for progress. Actual progress. Physical, measurable, undeniable progress. Not the idea of progress. Not the intention of progress. Not the Pinterest board of progress. Not the conversation about progress you had with your friend over coffee. The real thing. One rep completed. One sentence written. One email sent. One call made. One drawer organized. One page read. That is when the chemistry shifts. That is when the feeling arrives. That is when motivation shows up. Late, as always, pretending it was there all along. Motivation is not a leader. It is a follower. It shows up after the work begins. It takes credit for what discipline started. It writes its name on buildings it never helped construct. And you keep inviting it to the groundbreaking ceremony, wondering why construction never starts. It doesn't start because you gave the opening speech to someone who only arrives for the ribbon cutting. Stop waiting for the guest of honor. Break ground without them. The cement doesn't care who showed up to the ceremony. It only cares that someone poured it. You have been waiting for permission from a feeling that does not arrive on schedule, a feeling that does not respond to invitations, a feeling that only appears when it sees you already sweating. So sweat first. The feeling will find you. Momentum is not a feeling you wait for. It is a force you create. One small action, then another, then another. The feeling catches up. It always catches up. But you have to move first. You have to be unreasonable. You have to act without permission from your emotions. This is the part nobody wants to hear. You do not need to feel ready. You do not need to feel confident. You do not need to feel like yourself. You do not need to feel worthy of the goal. You do not need to feel like today is the day. You need to move. The identity follows the action, not the other way around. You don't become a runner and then start running. You start running and then become a runner. You don't become disciplined and then build habits. You build habits and then become disciplined. You don't become brave and then take risks. You take risks and then become brave. You don't become a morning person and then wake up early. You wake up early and then become a morning person. The feeling is always downstream, always. And the people who achieve things are not the ones who felt motivated. They are the ones who moved when they felt nothing. When the alarm went off and the bed was warm and the voice said, "Tomorrow," they got up anyway. Not because they wanted to, because they decided to. There is a canyon between wanting and deciding. Wanting is passive. Deciding is violent. Wanting waits for conditions. Deciding creates them. Wanting negotiates with comfort. Deciding burns the negotiation table. Wanting says, "Someday." Deciding says now, badly, imperfectly, but now. You have been wanting for years. It is time to decide. You don't wait to feel like a runner. You put on your shoes and run badly. The feeling of being a runner comes later. Sometimes weeks later, sometimes months, but it comes. You don't wait to feel like a writer. You write one ugly sentence, then another. The identity follows the action. Always. You don't wait to feel like waking up early. You set the alarm and suffer through it. The energy arrives at day 14, not day 1. You don't wait to feel social. You show up awkward and quiet. The confidence arrives mid-conversation, not before you leave the house. You don't wait to feel like an entrepreneur. You launch something embarrassing. The vision clarifies after the first failure, not before the first attempt. Every single transformation starts with a lie you tell yourself. "I'll do it even though I don't feel like it." That lie becomes the truth, but only if you move first. Discipline is not about wanting to do the thing. Discipline is about doing the thing when you don't want to, and then watching wanting appear in the rearview mirror, waving at you, smiling, pretending it was there all along. The motivated version of you does not exist in the future. It exists 5 minutes after you start. It is not waiting ahead of you on some distant horizon. It is hiding behind you, behind the first action, behind the first uncomfortable moment, behind the first second of movement that your body resisted and your mind rejected but you chose anyway. You will never catch motivation by chasing it. You can only create it by ignoring its absence. The people you admire are not more motivated than you. They are more willing to act without motivation. That is the only difference. Not talent, not luck, not some secret fire burning inside them that you were denied. Just the willingness to move in the dark and trust that the light will follow. It always does. Motivation is not your ally. It is your excuse. And the moment you stop needing it is the moment everything changes. Not because you became superhuman, but because you became honest. Honest about what action requires. Honest about what feelings are. Honest about who moves first. You do. Always you. Stop waiting for lightning. Strike the match yourself. One small action. The feeling will chase you. It always does.